Hey guys, welcome back to Detroit Garage. More governor work. A friend of a friend reached out to me and asked me if I could go through some of these governors for him. They got a couple of single weight VS governors that arrived. So we'll have a look at the two he gave me. Now somebody's been through these, but they never finished the job. He said it was very hard to get anybody to work on them, so I said I'd do him a favor and fix them. But overall, they appear to be in fairly good shape. You know, somebody's done some work on them, kind of half finished them, did a bit of paint work. So this is how I got them, and then, oh yeah, we see that. You see, this is all loose. I've rebuilt one like this as well. See that? It's all loose. And then a box full of parts. And OEM parts, risers and bearings. He's missing the high-speed spring here. So I've got an old junker up on the shelf I grabbed. So with this and these two units, I can rebuild them. So do that before Christmas, and then kind of be a nice present for them. We'll tear into them and have a quick peek, but this one's missing the spring and everything internally. There are some bits in the box here, but I have enough to replace the missing parts. The housing is awfully loose, see that? So that has to be fixed. He's got brand new bearings for it, so we'll put some new bearings in it. Clean up all the parts, go through everything. This looks like he put a new bushing in here, and it's right here. That bushing is not pressed in all the way, and it's way too tight. So yeah, he's got the correct restrictors on there. That's very important. R40s. Here's the basket. The riser is seized on the weights. Bearings are really rough, so replace these bearings. And that's it. We're back down to the housing. So for the fuel shutoff, I just make sure that the lever moves freely and is nice and tight. There's no back and forth movement. The top part of the governor, somebody's done what I used to call a French press, or a French fit. They've peened this with a center punch to raise the outside to make a tight fit. So what I'm going to do with that is press this in with Loctite and make sure it's tight. Again, this one's missing the high-speed spring. So for the throttle, I look for play in this shaft here, back and forth, because that'll affect the performance. This one has a little bit of play, so So the bushing has to be replaced here or swap it out with a good unit. And then this is bad. So further inspection on this one, other than that slight play, the Allen key is loosened off. There's an Allen key in here that locks this, and that's loosened off. So I'm gonna replace this unit just to save time, because it'll need to be rebuilt, put new bushings in it, and I don't have any, so I'd have to order those. So there's the idle screw I was talking about for the little Jimmy. Has the same governor. There's the plunger. The spring goes in there like that, and then we have spacers in here. Yeah, so this one is a good working unit. It's nice and tight. The roller bearing works good. Plunger works good. So this is all good. Just has to be cleaned up, prettied up a little bit. So next on this, test the governor shaft, and the bearings are tight on this one too. I don't know, it looks like this has sat for many years on a shelf somewhere and gotten moisture in it. So we'll replace the bearings in here and the bearing down here. I have to pull that plug out and put a new bearing in there. So the riser's not seized on this one, but the little collar that goes on here to drive the fuel pump might have had a seized fuel pump in its day. It's rounded the corners right off of that, and this shaft is worn badly here where the bushing is. Here's one out of my spare parts, and the shaft's in pretty nice shape, and it's got nice square corners. So I'm going to run through all this stuff, throw some new bearings in these, and just go through them. It's going to take my spare as well to make two good ones. So I'm going to pull my spare apart now and take all the good parts out of that, and then build up two units. So I'll bring it back when I accomplish something. So quick inspection on the housing. It's loose too. So somebody's put a new line in, a new oil line, but the housing on the bottom is rotating. See that? Somebody's also driven a bushing in, but it's not all the way in. It's just kind of sat there. I almost pull it out with my fingers. It's got the correct oil restrictor, the R40. So we'll run through this one as well. The lid on this one's okay. All right, we're salvaging parts off of an old unit here. Because he's missing some of these parts. So this one's nice and tight. So this is my salvaged unit I picked up years ago now, and actually it's in really good shape. So maybe the hoarding pays off, I don't know. So I undid the oil line, and the bottom piece just fell right off. The only thing holding this together was the oil line. I mean, it is bolted to the engine, but it should be a solid unit when it's assembled. So we'll do a little magic and make these good again. So that's the plunger here. Spring goes on there, and it's nice and tight, and the guide is securely in the housing. This bearing is kind of notchy as well. It's had some moisture and it's seized up, so we'll replace that bearing. Not smooth. So the shaft's out now, and that's the bearing, seized solid. It only turns a little bit, and that's it. So we'll pop this off and replace the bearing. As I've done other videos, I'm just gonna kind of show you guys the finished results as they go, because I've done full teardowns on these in other videos, and I'll link them below for you. But other than that, all the parts seem to be in fairly decent condition, all the hard parts anyway. Some of them have to be replaced, and I have spares for those, so that's good. One control shaft bearing. So brand new bearings out of the package for the operating rod. Okay, new bearing installed, nice and free. Yeah, so there's always issues you run into with old stuff like this. The fuel pump bolts into here. The governor shaft comes out here. And this bushing is supposed to be tight, but I could push it in and out with my finger. So we'll have to fix that. This here is, these have been helicoiled. And we'll test this and re-tap it and see if it's any good. Otherwise, I'll have to drill it out and helicoil it as well. We got 2 cores built up. Okay guys, we got 2 cores ready, stripped down and ready for paint. I decided, being I had a couple of cores upstairs, I decided to use those rather than put these back together for now. There's This unit's actually in good shape, but this needs a helicoil, which I don't want to do right now. That one needs a helicoil. Then they need to be put back together. Of course, there's a couple of helicoils to go in here somewhere. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one here is nasty too for the set screw. So that needs a helicoil as well. So I decided to grab one of my cores upstairs. It was an empty core and a spare I had, and build those up. And then if I have time, I'll work on these and get them all fixed up. And this one here is really loose. That bearing slips in and out of that hole, so that would have to be Loctited as well. So there's a considerable amount of work on these, and I'd just rather get them done so I can proceed with my next project. So I'll build up one of my own governors, this one here, and build up two for the customer, and then just keep these as cores. So that's what we're going to do. So what I've done is I've picked the best two units for this gentleman, and then we're just putting new bearings in it now. So we're knocking the old bearings out and putting all new bearings in it. New bushing in the bottom, and then assemble it back and then paint it. So there's the old bearing, very nasty. So I got to clean out this hole and then put the new bearing back in. There, that's nice. Like brand new. New bearing on the top, new bearing on the bottom. All right, we've got a replacement assembly. We're just going to put the riser in it now. So that's the heart of the unit. Okay, we're going to put the weights on now. So, try to get you in close here. So there's a little washer, little spacer that goes on there. These only go in one way. They got like a knurled end on them. Try not to drop the washer. We got the spring in. We're going to lubricate up this control lever. So we're almost done. One governor. And then it has to be painted. So I'm missing gaskets. So I've made some gaskets, but I've reached out to my friend and asked him if they can get the gaskets. If they can't, I'll order them from PC Industries. But I want to get this out of the shop and in their hands as soon as I can, you know. I don't know how long. This has been out of service for many, many years. But also have to know what RPM he wants it at, because this doesn't have any shims. There's a shim pack that goes in here to set the RPM, and there's no shims at all, so that I'll have to know. All right, that's all set up. I'm gonna clean all this up for paint, but we got the spring in here. Of course, this governor gap's got to be adjusted. I could just tell by eyes. There it is, all reassembled. I just have to clean this surface up for the gasket, and then put the top down. Find 4 screws for this, and this governor's done, ready for paint. Got to put the oil lines in too, so all right, well, this one's done. I just have to go get some screws like this, but yeah, very happy. Everything works. So clean it up, paint it, put the tags back on, and I didn't realize he gave me new pins as well for the governor. So I'll pull those other pins out and replace them with brand new pins. Yeah, it only takes a minute to do that. So, but basically this one's ready to go, guys. All I got to do now is clean it up and paint it, and of course put the tags back on it. Well, the 2 single weight VS governors are finished and ready to go back into service now. So all the oil lines are in. It's got new bearings, new bushings, new pins, the governor gap set. So ready to go. Happy times. And what I'm left with, I sacrificed some of my cores to make these. I've got another rebuildable core here that I'll do for a double weight. And mind the mess again, it's time to clean up. So now I've got a bunch of hollowed out cores, and I'll have to repair these with helicoils and whatnot to get them back into service. And out of this I can make one more double weight LS governor. So, well, there you have it, guys. That's 2 SW VS governors rebuilt, single weight variable speed, and ready to go back into service. So a lot of fun doing that. Pretty comprehensive video on this, so I'll go back and edit a bunch of stuff and see how it turns out. So again, thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.